Afifah, what can you tell us about the rescue operation so far?
That's right. So the search and rescue efforts going on at the Batang Kali campsite is still ongoing. Where we are, it's 2 kilometers from here, up that winding, narrow road uphill. There's no connection there. The roads below, in front of me, have been completely closed off. So this is as far as we can bring you right now. Now, we know that the death toll is still rising. More than a dozen people are still missing. The search and rescue efforts led by the Fire and Rescue Department, as well as all the other relevant agencies, are still going on. There are about 100 people there in terms of the officers which have been deployed to the campsite from as early as 2:30 a.m. this morning. Now, when we were at the campsite earlier, we did see a police vehicle carrying out the bodies of 5 victims, and those bodies will be brought to Sungai Buloh Hospital. Now, we know that the landslide occurred at about 2 a.m. According to the Fire and Rescue Department, the landslide fell from an estimated height of 30 meters, and it covered an area of about 1 acre. There were about 94 people at the campsite, among them 20 teachers from a Chinese primary school in Kuala Lumpur, as well as their families. It's been reported that they were on a 3-day camping trip and were due to return home this morning. Now, some of the survivors, as well as their families, they're gathered at a police station further down the road. There is a temporary shelter that's been set up there with the relevant agencies deployed to provide them with some essential items. There are also, counsellors from the welfare services to provide emotional support for those who had been very traumatized by this tragic incident. There are also several MPs who have been spotted at the police station further down the road.
All right, speaking of MPs, we also understand that Prime Minister Anwar Ibrahim, he's expected to visit the site later today. Some officials have also responded to the situation. What did they say?
That's right. So several ministers had been asked to visit the campsite by Prime Minister Anwar Ibrahim. This includes Home Affairs Minister Saifuddin Nasution. We also saw the Natural Resources, Environment and Climate Change Minister Nick Nazmi earlier. He was speaking to the media, giving us some updates after visiting the campsites and looking over the rescue efforts there. Now, he said that initial investigations show that it was a slope failure. But let's listen in to what else he had to tell us.
Based on the data that we have on site, there was a slope failure, and the dimensions is about, the length is 500 meters, the width is 200 meters, and the depth is 8 meters. And the volume is 450,000 cubic meters that affected the area. So the ministry would like to convey our condolences to all the families that are affected.
Now, Local Development Minister Nga Komeng also visited the campsite earlier, and what he told us was that he found that the landowners did not have the permit to run a campsite there. They only had a permit to run the organic farm. He also said that he's informed the relevant authorities to close down all campsites nationwide, which are located by rivers, for the next 7 days, and until the officials give them any further instructions. We also know that Deputy Prime Minister Ahmad Zahid Hamidi is due to visit the campsite at about 6 p.m. today, and Prime Minister Anwar Ibrahim will also be going down to the campsite later this evening.